Record to the cloud. I guess that's what we do. I don't know how this shit goes. What do I do? All right, dope. Now, let's talk. And in this case, like, because it's a review session, I'm gonna hope that you all share your knowledge with each other, okay? And that might look like you're sharing verbally for things that I'm asking for, or it might look like you're sharing in the chat. Both are totally fine. But I really, really, really want you, there's 30 of us here. I really want you to embrace, like, you bringing your knowledge to my knowledge to share with all of us as a whole, all right? It doesn't do us nearly as much good if it's just me talking at you. Rather, I'd have us have a collaborative discussion. I already set up the categories that we'll talk about of you adding knowledge to our collective, beautiful Post-it collection here on this, this digital whiteboard. So let's first talk about native societies. I'm going to zoom us in right there. Let's talk about native societies and their characteristics, okay? So I can call on you guys if you want, or you can just pop into the chat, or you can turn your mic on and just share. Like, think of this as like an afternoon session where you don't have to be called on to talk. Just engage in the process, pretend like you're at school, and I'll start calling people if I have to, but I don't want to do that because it's after school. So what are some characteristics that we should note of native societies that we learned in this unit? And I'm ready to type. I'm ready to type your notes.
Couldn't one be the head right system?
Not necessarily. That's not part of the native society, but let's put the head right system up here. All right. Let's put the head right system up here in terms of the development of the colonial economy. All right. So let's put the head right system right here, because that's really important for the growth of the colonial economy. And we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, good. Go ahead. But if you have something you want to say that you think goes up here, let me know and we'll put it up here where it goes. So when I say native societies, I'm asking, like, what are the natives about? What are their societies built on? What do they believe in? What types of things can we identify as characteristics of native societies?
They're nomadic.
Oh, okay. Some are nomadic. Others are more sedentary. Okay, good. Good, Laura. That's a really good point. Dope. What else?
The tribes are very, like, spiritual when it comes to lands and everything.
Spiritual and what?
When it comes to, like, the lands, or they have, like, spiritual, like, items that connect within the tribes.
Okay. Okay. That create tribal identity. Okay. Good. Good. I agree. Thank you, Eliana. Thank you, Laura. What else? Come on, y'all.
A lot of their characteristics and ways of life are based on the environment that they're in.
Ooh, what do you know? This might, in fact, be a test question about how natives and Europeans view the land differently. So you're telling me the natives base their entire life around where they are and what their environment provides. Oh, interesting. And the British people don't do that necessarily? They do to an extent, right? That's the raw materials they produce, but okay. All right, all right, all right. I like that. Cool. Other characteristics we can add for native societies. Are they all the same, or is there a ton of diversity within native societies?
There's diversity because, like, they speak different languages and different, like, cultures.
Yeah, cultures, languages. You could even say their economies are different, right? I showed you that map in the first video about what they do, what their primary pursuit is, right? Whether it be like hunting, fishing, farming, right? Those kinds of things. Cool, cool, cool. Anything else we can add to this bad boy? Come on, y'all. Come on, come on. Let me think if there's anything.
They saw themselves as individual tribes, not as a whole.
Good. That's important, right? For how they see themselves. They see themselves as individual tribes, not as a large unified entity. Okay? Good. Why don't we add up here, like, how they relate to Europeans? What are some examples of them relating to Europeans? Either in positive ways or negative ways.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's how it goes.
So the Europeans labeled them as savages compared to them?
Right. All right. That's a good one. Viewed as savages by Europeans. Okay. All right. All right. Now I got to figure out how to make a new Post-it. Y'all, I know you guys don't think this is a very big deal, but, like, If you talk to any of my kids in past years, they'd be very impressed. Go ask Geronimo, Saul, about me over here learning new things. All right? Doesn't work that way. Cool. All right. What else can we add about natives? There was somebody else who was going to talk and didn't.
With the French, they usually had like friendly relations as they like traded together, like furs and stuff.
Okay. Because of furs. What did I call this in class? A mutually beneficial relationship. That makes sense, right? Can I add something to the French that I think is important because it might play a role in your test? Hold on, I keep having a hard time getting in. Come on, y'all. We see intermarriage with the French because the relationships are positive. So that's an important piece. Who's most similar to the French in the way they interact with the natives? Who's the French, like other European power that operates a lot like the French?
The Dutch, I believe.
Yeah.
The Dutch.
Good. The Dutch less so than the French because there's less of them, but they also in general have more mutually beneficial relations. Good. Good. I like this. Thank you, y'all. Not bad. So that's a pretty good, I think in terms of what's on your test, this is a pretty good encapsulation of what takes place. Let's add one other thing. What's the biggest negative impact for the natives of colonial expansion and the Columbian exchange? Because that plays a role in your test as well. What's the biggest
How half of their population declined due to the diseases that were brought.
Beautiful. Massive percentage of population decline due to diseases, but also wars. Yes? Like diseases is obviously the big one, but there are plenty of Native American wars that you should be aware of as well. Dope. All right, check us out. Look at that. We crush Native American societies. That's good work. I like this a lot. Looks like my awesome digital whiteboard is doing its job. It's digital whiteboarding, which is good. And now I've stumbled upon one of my favorite things to do on Thursday afternoons after school when I do this with my kids, now you're my kids, is we go on the whiteboard and it turns into a freaking mind map disaster of all kinds of arrows and craziness and everything. And I've been really sad I haven't been able to do that yet this year, but I think we found a way to kind of make it work in the 2020 version. So we're doing okay. We're cooking with fire. Now, let's go over to European colonization here. European colonization. Give me some of the nations that are colonizing, and then I'll add to their Post-its what it is they're doing and why and where, okay? So just give me some countries that have a big colonial role.
The British.
British. All right, I'm going to put those over here.
Spanish.
British. Why don't we put the Spanish? Because the Spanish are kind of first. So why don't we put the Spanish over here? Cool. What else?
Couldn't it also be Portugal?
Yeah, we could do that. Portuguese as well. Absolutely. Let's add another Post-it over here then. Man, this is so much fun. Over here, Post-itting.
Wait, sorry. Okay. Maybe we could like also include the Treaty of Tordesillas. Like how it was. Wait, what?
Under who?
Between Spanish and Portugal.
All right. So why don't I put a text box right here? Treaty of Tortillas. We've got some sort of treaty. Dope. How do I make this text smaller? Okay, good. Treaty of Tordesillas, and why don't I put like a cool arrow? I don't know if I can do arrows. Can I do arrows? Yes, this and this. What? Guys, this is wild as hell. Look at this. This is so much fun. Oh man, I'm having a freaking time of my life over here. Yeah, so the Treaty of Tordesillas is really important because it's going to divide the New World between these two geographically, in that it's going to be a line in the world, so to speak, where the Portuguese are going to colonize south, which is why we still see a ton of Portuguese influence, and Brazil, for example, is their national language is Portuguese, whereas the Spanish are going to have access to what becomes Mexico, Latin America, etc. Cool. A Eliana, that was a really good point. Thank you for adding that. Cool. What else can we add, y'all? Other countries? Oh, let's start with countries first. What other countries should we add here?
Do we also add the French?
We can, Kevin. We can add the French. Absolutely. I'm going to put the French and the Dutch together, okay? Because they don't have enough like long-term settlement to be separated out, and they kind of have very similar motivations and the likes. All right, cool. So let's start putting some characteristics or some events down below it in these other post-its. Talk me through the Spanish. What can we add for Spanish colonization? Systems, labor force, native relations. Jackie, talk to me. Your mic's on.
Oh, el sistema de casas.
What happened?
Oh, I said el sistema de castas. I forgot how to say it in English, but.
Oh, the caste system? Or what do you say? I'll come back to you. Let me think. Get them?
Yes.
Cool. What else, guys, can we add to the Spanish? Where are they? What are they doing? What happens? What are some events? What are some things?
Didn't they have revolutions?
I mean, don't we all have revolutions, Kevin? Don't we all have revolutions? An existential question. Cool. Tell me where they are. Tell me what they're doing there. Tell me what their relations are with natives.
Natives are an integral part of their society
Okay. Why?
because of their economy, like they use them for labor.
Based on native labor. Okay, cool. Cool. I think Jackie was trying to say the encomienda system, yeah? Maybe? Maybe not. So let's add the encomienda system.
Yeah.
Cool. The encomienda system is the next important bullet point because that is how they set up their society, right? Where pure native-born Spanish people born in Spain are at the top. Spanish blood born in the colonies are down below. Mixed blood between native and Spanish are below that. Pure native blood is below that, and African slaves are at the bottom. So that racial caste system is really important in Spanish colonization. Positive or negative relations with the natives? This is an easy one, guys. Do the natives like them or not?
It was negative because
Cool.
basically they view them as inferiors, and they also acted pretty violently towards them.
Violence is common. I'm going to add a really important thing for you guys, the Pueblo Revolt. It was in your text. We didn't talk about it in class, but it's still worth knowing. Of Native Americans in what now is modern-day New Mexico, rising up against Spanish control and actually expelling the Spanish from the Southwestern United States for a period of a couple dozen years. And when the Spanish come back, they come back with a lighter hand, less controlling, less oppressive. What's the religion the Spanish are trying to spread?
Aren't they trying to convert the natives into Catholics?
Yes, convert to Catholicism. There you go. Did I spell it right? Oh, I guess I just didn't capitalize it. Okay, good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Cool. And where? Where's their geographic control? Where's their area of colonization? Modern day. Where?
Central America.
Good. Central America. Where else?
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. Where else?
And then eventually
America.
California.
Southwestern U.S. Yep. And the Caribbean. Good. Good. California has a huge Spanish influence from colonization because of the missions, right? Maybe you guys back in 4th grade, you had to build a mission, which now that we understand this a little better is an incredibly racist project to assign to anybody because we're glorifying Spanish conquest and what becomes part of forced labor, slavery, and racial genocide. But hey, how many city names in California are in Spanish? Los Angeles, San Francisco, Santa Barbara, San Diego. I grew up in a town just close to East LA, just north of East LA, called San Gabriel, where there's a mission. So much Latin American influence, so much Spanish influence is in California because of Spanish colonization. Cool. But yet, we tell people speaking Spanish, never mind. Never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm recording this. I can't be too mad at America on the internet. Some angry rednecks will come and find me. Cool. Let's talk. We don't need much about the Portuguese, because of the Treaty of Tordesillas, their impact is all in South America, and thus they're important to know. But they don't play a role in the development of what becomes North American society and culture, which becomes the United States. So we don't need to worry about them. Let's go over to the French and Dutch. What can I add into the French and Dutch? What are they all about? Come on, y'all. We got about 25 minutes left. We got a lot to get through. I need your participation. I need your voices.
It was different for the French and Dutch because they weren't coming in like families to get it to be established.
So they're not coming with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good. Far less colonization and much more commerce. Okay. So we see fewer people, mostly men. Good. That's it. Sadai, good point. Really good point. Thank you, kid. Good work. What else can I add, y'all?
Their colonies were like ruled by the Dutch, the Dutch East India Company. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. It has like a mercantilist, like almost like a monopoly, right, on slavery and trade and the like. Okay, that's a good one. Good. What else can I add for the French or the Dutch? What's their main economic driver for the French specifically? What are they here to get?
Trade and furs.
Furs. Get them beaver furs. All right. If you guys want to give me a gift for Christmas, a nice beaver fur hat would be lovely. I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. Because if you do, I'm gonna feel guilty and have to wear it, and my head's gonna be sweaty, and we just don't need that in life. All right? We don't need that in life. Good. Here for furs. We said intermarriage, especially between the French and natives. What's the region? Where are the French present the most? Maybe you don't remember this, but it's pretty important and helpful.
Canada, I think.
What?
Don't they colonize Canada at some point?
Yes, Canada, and then more specifically the Great Lakes region, which becomes like the divide between Canada and the United States later. Great Lakes region, and the Mississippi River Valley. Down to New Orleans, which is the biggest city in Louisiana today, which today has a huge French influence, right? Maybe one point in life when you get old enough to go make terrible decisions, you can go to Mardi Gras and do terrible things. That's in New Orleans, which is, Orleans is a French word, and the area of all those bars that people are going crazy for Mardi Gras is called the French Quarter because it's the French part of town. So we still see, my point is that colonial influence is still so present in our lives, we don't even notice it. Good. Let's talk English. Do the English come for one specific reason, or is it varied by group and by region?
It varies by region because like some go to like grow economically while others are like religious, like things religious regions.
I don't want to put religious quote unquote freedom, but because we know it's not free. Reasonable? Right. But the way I put it in the video, freedom of their religion. Okay. I like that. How tight is colonial control by the British? Does the British government control them tightly or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay. So looser colonial control, which I should go back to the Spanish and add that they have a much tighter control by the mother country. Okay. Make that one a little bigger so y'all can see it. I like it. This is really fun. I'm really liking this whiteboard thing. Those of you who have cameras on, give me a thumbs up if this is kind of helpful to see. The little Postits. Yeah, cool. I'm just, proud of myself. I'm gonna tell my wife later and she's gonna be like, it's not even that big of a deal. Who cares? I care. Just kidding. And Sadari cares. So we're good to go. All right, I think that does a good job. We can add a little more to the British. We have a lot of time on the British later. We can add salutary neglect here if you'd like. We can add, this is important, joint stock companies, right? Because those provide the funding early on when the government's not willing to pay for the funding. Joint stock companies are important, at least for Virginia. Jamestown. Cool. All right. How are the relations with the natives, with the English? How are relations with the natives? Positive, not positive?
Isn't it like negative because like they have wars between each other, like the Philips War?
Yes, look at you. King Philip's War. That's on your test. Pequot War's in your test. Why do they have wars with the natives? What are they doing with it? Are they trying to like enslave the natives, like the Spanish are?
No, they're just taking the territory.
Yeah, so the war, it's on your test tomorrow too. Check us out. He's getting you guys all the answers. The wars with the natives are over land. Okay? So the Indians try to like create some confederacies, some groups to resist white expansion. Okay, cool. Nicely done. Let us zoom on down to the motivations and colonial regions. What are the three regions of the colonies? Let's start at the very top. What's the northernmost region called?
New England.
New England. Okay, and what's the middle region called? Come on, y'all.
New York?
Middle colonies.
Middle. Freaking Kevin, I said what's the middle one called? You said New York. I love you, Kevin. And what's the next one called?
Southern.
Southern colonies.
Chesapeake and the lower South. But the Chesapeake's just like the upper part, lower. So they're all the South. One's just the upper South and the lower South. Okay. Dope, dope, dope. All right, let's talk about anything. Let's talk about, you can give me a characteristic or a person or a place or an idea. You just tell me where it goes, okay? So turn the mics on and add as much to these Post-its as you possibly can. Let me just add some Post-its real quick. Post-it. Post-it. And another Post-it. All right, so talk me through whatever you guys want. Give me some stuff I can put up here. I need some info. I need some SFI. I need some deets.
William Penn.
Where does that go? William Penn, Pennsylvania. Okay, and what's unique? What can we add under Pennsylvania here? What can we add here? I can never spell Pennsylvania to save my freaking life. What else, what other SFI or details should we add about Pennsylvania that people should know?
Isn't Pennsylvania like more like religious like freedom because like of the Quakers and like everybody goes there?
Yeah, way more religiously tolerant. Good. Better relations with the natives. Good, good. I don't disagree with any of that. I'm gonna move this stuff. Whoa. Easy winch. Be okay. I wonder if I can move two at once. Nope. Oh, I'm putting arrows in. I don't know what the hell is going on. All right. Cool. So we can add a couple more Post-its down below if we need to. All right, so we see Pennsylvania, more religious toleration, better relations with natives. What's happening in the middle colonies economically? What's happening in the middle colonies? How are they making their money? What is their economy built on?
It's more agricultural.
Okay.
Because the geography they have.
Okay. So it is agricultural. What kind of crops are they farming? Because I gave you a very specific like type of agriculture the colony in the middle of it. What?
Don't the middle colonies grow wheat and corn?
Yes. Breadbasket crops. Like wheat, corn, grain, etc. I had a kid last year on the same test you're about to take. One of the questions, the short answer question about the middle colonies, they told me that in Pennsylvania they grew bread baskets. No, you don't grow bread baskets. They're called bread basket crops because you can make things that you eat out of them. All right? You can't live off of cash crops like tobacco, indigo, sugar, but wheat and corn and grain, those are, and then we see livestock as well. So really it's the middle colonies that are the fuel, the food for the rest of the colonial empire. All right. Other than Pennsylvania, what's the other main, Kevin, you said it earlier, what's the other main middle colony?
I said it? But
Yes. New York. Fool. All right, he's back to muted. New York. Good. And in New York, we see a whole bunch of commerce, shipping, trade, because New York has a big, easy to navigate harbor and the like. All right, middle colonies, we see the most diversity. All right, that's important. Middle colonies, we see the most and that diversity ethnically, religiously, and there's also economic diversity, meaning they have a diverse mixed economy. Some large-scale agriculture for breadbasket stuff, some commerce and shipping and trade, some shipbuilding, very diverse economy. Cool. Let's talk Lower South, Chesapeake. Give me some details here. Who's there? Go.
The colonists are known for like growing tobacco.
Good. Can I say just cash crops instead?
Yeah.
Because we have, it's not just tobacco. Tobacco is in the Chesapeake for sure. What else? What else can I include here? Tobacco. What else? What are the other cash crops in the South?
Rice and indigo.
Rice, indigo, and then further down south, like in the Caribbean, but still part of the empire, is sugar. Good. Rice, indigo, sugar. Good. Good. And this is especially in the coastal regions. Okay. Good. What else can I add? There's a bunch of things we can add to Chesapeake Lower South. Come on, y'all. You're slowing down on me. What's happening culturally, economically, politically? What's happening in Chesapeake Lower South?
Aren't they less urban?
Yes, yes, good. That's a really good one. Less urban, much more rural. Much more rural, okay? The big city they have is Charleston, South Carolina, and it's only a big city because of the slave trade. So that's a big one. Good. That's a really good one. What else?
Isn't there like the place where they depend more on slaves?
Yeah.
And they first like
forced labor, starting with indentured servitude, and then transitioning to slavery, which we could then add here the piece about Bacon's Rebellion if you wanted. In 1676, that should be there as an important thing in the South. We can add the House of Burgesses as the first example of a colonial assembly, a colonial legislative body in 1619 for self-government. It's less populated, less people because everyone's spread out. Why is everyone spread out? Because the freaking headright system of giving people acres of land based off of how many indentured servants they bring with them, which leads to huge plantations. Okay, let's add that. It's a plantation style economy. We also said in class that it's a much more hierarchical social structure, meaning that like the rich are very rich and they stay that way, and then less so for the others. How do I make this bigger? No. I guess I can't. Can't win them all, my friends. Can't win them all. All right. I think that does a good job for our Chesapeake Lower South situation. Let's add, we should make sure we know the colonies, right? Virginia. Let's start at the top. What's happening? Go away. I don't know what this is and what's happening. My whiteboard is broken. We got Maryland. Maryland, which we can add the act of toleration for. That's important. Act of toleration, Maryland. Virginia. Then we can add House of Burgesses. That's something to remember them for. We got North and South Carolina. And we got Georgia. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Let's talk then about New England. Give me some deets. Give me some SFI, some specific. I'm not looking for the right answer. I'm looking for a lot of answers. So what can you guys tell me about New England?
They were close by water, and their economy was based on shipbuilding and fishing.
Good. Economy built on fishing. Shipbuilding's a big one. Good. Lumber. You can add lumber too. Yeah. Why not farming? Why aren't they large-scale farming like the other two regions?
Because their land isn't very fertile, and like it's dry, and farming is not suitable for them.
Good. And winter, since they're further north, the winter is longer, colder. Good, good. What else? Give me some of the social dynamics in New England. What's happening socially? Talk to me about religion or society or politics.
There's a sorry.
Whatever.
There's a social covenant. Oh, yeah.
Why don't I put covenant theology, right, of what's called mutual watchfulness. All right, on your test is the city on a hill ideology, that the whole world is watching us. So thus, we need to make sure we're living a perfect God-like life, right? That we're the example, the bright, shining example for the rest of the world of following God's laws, which creates a society built on conformity and uniformity. Okay, that's reasonable. Give me two examples. I'm gonna give you some people here, I guess. Roger Williams, he's the city on the hill guy. Ooh, we also forgot the Mayflower Compact. That's on your test about like self-government and the common good. Almost like everything in my videos ends up being on the test for some reason. I don't know why that keeps happening. I don't know. Wow. What else? Who are some other people that are noteworthy in New England? Maybe for being kicked out, for not following the rules.
Anne Hutchinson.
Yeah. Yep. Supposed to say Roger Sherman. I'm sorry. And Hutchinson and Roger Williams. It's not even this at all. I got the wrong guy altogether. I'm an idiot right now. Sherman is later when it signs the Declaration of Independence. All right, and Hutchinson and Roger Williams are examples of dissenters. Dissenters who get kicked out. Where do they get kicked out to? Where's the colony that's like called the sewer because it's where all the people that aren't good enough for Massachusetts go?
Rhode Island.
Yeah, freaking Rhode Island. A sewer. Good. Which sounds like a way cooler place to live, right? Where we see a little bit more like equality. Women are allowed to hold leadership in the church in Rhode Island, at least for a short time. Cool. We see way more towns here. Towns much more family driven. Family driven is an important one. We see more, the political decisions are town assemblies based on church membership. All right.
Aren't they also known for their education?
Yes, more educated, more literate. I can't even say literate, so I'm obviously not literate. There you go. Good. That's a dope one. Well done. That's a really good one. Cool. Not bad. Not bad. All right. I'll put religious motivation in colonization, which is why they then, right, the line that I gave you the first day of school was why you go somewhere impacts what you do when you get there. All right, so in this case, they came to the Americas to establish a perfect religion. So what do? They try to build a society on this perfect religion. Okay. Development of the colonial economy, we see the headright system plays a role here. I'm going to add mercantilism. Mercantilism. What is an example of a law that backs up the system of mercantilism?
And then the Navigation Acts?
Yeah, Navigation Acts. Okay. We see, I'll put here for you, about 85% of colonists are farmers. Across the whole region. Now, even in New England, a lot of people are farming. They're just not farming enough to make profit off of. That's why it's not their business model. They're farming enough to like feed their families. So 85% of colonists are farmers because there is a abundance of land. I mean, there's not, if you consider that it's native land, but there's an abundance of land that has been stolen, which allows people to come to the colonies and get land that they could not get in Europe, which is important. Raw materials really is the foundation of all three colonial economies, right? In the Chesapeake and South, it's cash crops. In the middle colonies, it's breadbasket-y stuff. And commerce and trade, what are they commerce and trading? Raw materials. And in New England, it's lumber and fish because that's their raw materials. Okay, that's the colonial economy, how things are built economically speaking. What else can I add to the colonial economy? You guys got anything for me?
I was gonna say we could add the manufactured goods.
Yeah, how about that? We'll add that, absolutely. Right, they are consumers of manufactured goods. We can also put, at least in the Chesapeake and the Deep South, the economy is built on slavery, right? And of forced labor. Okay, that's not bad. All right, let's slide over here. Politics. What is it called? Let me rephrase that. Why do the colonial politics develop in the way that they do? Why do colonial politics develop in the way that they do?
Because of salutary neglect.
Good job, Eliana. Salutary neglect of leaving to self-government is important. How do the colonists, every colony, how does it govern themselves? What does each colony build?
Don't they have a representative assembly and a governor, whether elected or appointed?
Yes, God, Kimberly, good job. A representative assembly or a legislative assembly? Right? They have some sort of elected body, right? An elected body that makes decisions for the colonies as a whole, right? It differs by region. In the Chesapeake and the Lower South, they're dominated, of course, by the planter class, the rich ruling elites that have all the land. In New England, they're dominated by church leaders. In the middle colonies, they're more diverse, but still dominated largely by educated men who have money. But across the board, they are dominated by, they are all legislative assemblies. Okay, let me text my wife real quick. She had a question. Cool, done. We can add some specifics. We can add, if you guys wanted, the House of Burgesses is a really good example in 1619. We can also really add, guys, the Mayflower Compact if you wanted to, which of course is signed in 1620 by the people coming off the Mayflower ship, because it establishes the idea of self-government and the common good. We're going to govern not what's good for individuals, but we're going to make decisions for what's good for the community as a whole, which is going to make, let me add this over here to these Post-its. New England is very community driven, a lot of community driven, whereas Chesapeake Lower South is much more individualistic, a lot of I, right? What's good for me? What's good for, what am I going to do? I don't need the government to like provide, I'm going to do what's best for me individuals. And that's going to create actually a Southern identity that's going to hold true for much of American history that I'll revisit later. All right. What do these, we see, yeah, royal governors, or elected governors. An important piece here is this idea that their systems, political systems resemble or look like England's. Okay. Ooh, I have a good thing to add to you. What's that one example of the British trying to control the colonies a little tighter and then the colonies getting really pissed off about it? What is that attempt by the British to assert more political control?
Navigation Act.
Navigation Act is economic, not political, but good. That's a perfect example just for economics, not politics. What we got? This is why we have review sessions. The Dominion of New England, right? When England puts this guy, Edmund Andros, in charge of all of New England and New York and New Jersey, and the colonies flip out. Like, nah, we're not living under this one governor to govern all these colonies together. Like, we're not living that life. And they chase him out of town, and he flees back to England. And the lesson there for the British is that even by the late 1690s, even by that early date, the colonies are already so used to self-government, so used to make small local decision-making that they don't like the idea of the British telling them what to do. I'm going to add one more post-it for you guys, since I think it's good ideologically to understand, because it's going to help us a lot with period 3, is that colonists prefer a local government, which is close to home, right? And I don't mean like, I do mean geographically, but I mean of people that they know they can interact with, that they know they can speak to. They like power to reside close to home, right? The power is not big or far away. They don't like big, strong governments far away telling them what to do, which is going to play a big role in the way things develop into the American Revolution and after the American Revolution. All right, does anybody want to add anything to the political stickers? Speak now. All right, I think we did pretty good. The last piece is society and culture, which we talked about today. What's the biggest driver of society and culture? What's the biggest influence on society and culture across the board?
The Enlightenment.
Nope, but I'll add that because that's really important. The Enlightenment is an example of what I'm talking about.
England?
Yeah, so I don't like, what's it called? This process by which we become more like England. It's a big word.
Angelicanism? Oh wait, no, wait. Is
Close.
it?
No, I think you're combining Anglicization and evangelicalism.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry.
You combine the two. Anglicization, right? So which means that our society and culture is coming from England. Good. The Enlightenment, the Great Awakening as well. Well, what's happening? The Great Awakening, the first Great Awakening, which implies there will be a second one in the 1840s. We'll talk about that. Why don't we talk about like social hierarchies? Are the colonies more or less set in their social structures than England?
Less.
Good. So there's called, why don't we add, I think it's a good phrase for you to be able to use. Class mobility is available in the colonies that's not available in Europe, in that people can be poor and work their way up, or be rich and work their way right down. That happens as well. Okay. First Great Awakening, give me some deets here. Give me some people, some ideas. What do we got here? What is some SFI, some specific factual information that supports the First Great Awakening?
The Great Awakening, they supported the Protestant Reformation?
Kind of. It's Protestant evangelism, right? So this idea of like taking Protestantism and wanting to spread it far and wide. What are the two names from today? One of them yelled at you and one of them called God Dad.
Jonathan Edwards and George Whitefield.
Yeah, good. It looks like Whitefield. It's pronounced Whitfield, but I promise it doesn't matter because I was listening to you guys are making fun of me for being a nerd, but I was listening to a podcast the other day about the First Great Awakening. These are the things that I listen to in my free time. I mean, apparently having 7,000 books is not enough. You got to listen to books too. And then even that historian was calling him Whitefield. And I was like, no, come on, brother. You got a freaking PhD and you're pronouncing this fool's name wrong. Get it together. So George Whitfield, Jonathan Edwards. Edwards, of course, gives us Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, which, funny enough, is what I try to do is provide you guys in class the type of text that College Board loves to use on their tests, and Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God is a text that's shown up on multiple AP tests, which is why it's now in your class. Whitfield gives us marks of a true conversion. I have this strange ability to recall documents at like a tip of my tongue on a consistent basis. Like other teachers will text me and be like, hey, I need a document that does this. I'm like, oh, hold on, good to go. Because if you looked at this shelf of mine, there's just shelves and shelves of document books that have all the primary sources you'd ever want in your life. So don't ever become a history teacher because you never stop buying books if you do your job well. Cool. What else can you add, guys, for the First Great Awakening? What's significant about it? What are some pieces that we could add? Because you may or may not have a short answer question on the Great Awakening tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't make the test. Just kidding. Yes, I did. Jackie, go. I saw you put your mic on.
It encouraged individualism.
Yeah, good. Encourage individualism. Good. What else? I know some of y'all got information from me. I know Solange's got information for the Great Awakening. I know Charlie's got information. He was good in class. I know Jenny's got information. Where y'all at? Turn them mics on and join the party. All right. Good job. That was really good. Is it specific to one class or region, or does it cut across class and region? That's all I'm asking. I guess I'm going to have to call on you.
Didn't they create like a more personal relationship between God and
That's a good one. A more personal relationship between God and individuals. That's key. Right? It challenged established religious authority. Yeah, good job. Oh, thank you for that, Yadi. Good job. I was just kidding. That was me. Cool. Anything else you guys want to add? Kat, we're good? Missed that, Layla. Your Wi-Fi sounds a little laggy, but you can put it in the chat if you want. Just now saw the chat. Ooh, somebody put in the chat freaking hours ago that Native Americans are polytheistic. Layla, that's a good point. So let me go. Someone put in the chat freaking 19 hours ago, polytheistic, which I should most definitely add up here, which means they don't believe in a single God. There's a bunch of deities, right? The sun god, the rain god, all these things. Layla just put that it united the colonies. It cut across class lines, which means it's going to have an impact on the rich, the poor, the middle classes, etc. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, cool. Let me hit the Enlightenment real quick, only because I want to make sure that I honor you guys' time, and we're already a couple minutes over what I told you we'd be done. And for that, I'm sorry, but your participation has been so good. And Catherine's living her best life over there. Men are no angels, Catherine. Remember that. Remember that forever. All right, Enlightenment. Give me some of the Enlightenment ideas, people, places, things. Give me all the SFI in the Enlightenment. We can call it a day.
Importing people.
Oh,
Go ahead. Somebody can go. Don't worry about it.
it encouraged logical and reason-based thinking.
Okay. Cool. Problems. So reason-oriented. Right. Whereas if this is based on region, the Great Awakening is based on emotion. All right. So that's another way they're different. That's helpful. Maybe you might need that tomorrow. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know what you might need tomorrow or whenever you take your damn test. Cool. Encourage logical solutions. What else? What are some of the ideas or people that come out of the Enlightenment that are really important?
Some important people were like John Locke talking about natural born rights and the separation of like the government.
Yes. Montesquieu gives us separation of powers. The only useful person in all human history whose last name starts with Montes is Montesquieu. It's lovely. Keep that in mind. Some of you guys got the joke. What else? If the awakening, the Great Awakening challenge established the religious authority, what does the Enlightenment do?
Challenge political authority.
There you go. There you go. Challenge established political authority. And in a sense, isn't it also going to kind of challenge religious authority because it's going to look outside of religion for solutions to problems? All right. Good. Good. Locke, Montesquieu. We see some other cool names to note for later. Thomas Jefferson is an American Enlightenment theorist. Benjamin Franklin is an important American version of the Enlightenment because Locke and Montesquieu are both. Both of these things are. Let's do this to this. No, I don't want to do that. Both of these things are examples of Anglicization. Because both of these movements, that also becomes part of American identity as opposed to British colonial identity. All right, so these are good examples of things that are both. All right, things that come from England but get put an American twist on them. All right, the last couple things to know, native conflicts. I'll just fill these in for you real quick. We got the Pequot War. That's in New England. And it leads to uneasy peace for about 30 years. And it's followed then by, which the ones mentioned earlier, King Philip's War, also called Medical Metz War, which is the last example of native resistance in New England, which is very, very sad to say. By 1670, by the 1670s, the natives aren't even in a position to even have formal resistance to the colonies anymore. Keep in mind, what are most of these conflicts based on? I said it earlier, but we should make sure we reiterate this.
Invasion of land.
Yeah, right. The conflicts are over land. The best example of a different, right, if I ask you what's one thing the colonies all have in common, all three regions at different times have wars with natives. Even though the middle colonies have better relations, it doesn't mean that they're good relations. In Virginia or the Chesapeake, the best example is, oh my God, I just lost it. It was in my head. Powhatan War. Cool. Or the Powhatan Uprising. If you remember from the video, I showed you this picture that's published from the Chesapeake of like these giant, like 8-foot tall savage Indians on your week 0 launch video, or week 1 launch video, excuse me, that demonstrates like this beginnings of this savage identification with the natives. Cool. All right. So that's going to do it. What I will do is try to find a way to save this as a PDF and send it to you. But look at all that stuff, guys. We just crushed it. We just put all that stuff on this digital whiteboard in a matter of like 50 minutes. So props to you all. I hope this was helpful. Give me a quick thumbs up if this was worth your time. There you go. That's all I ever ask, right? If I'm gonna ask you to do something after school, all I ever hope is that it's worth what you have to put in. So this is the deal. I'm gonna post the test shortly. If you have questions, you need help, let me know. Maybe I can help, maybe I can't, but do your best, take care of your business. And thank you again for your time today. I love you all, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Peace. You guys are the best.
Bye. Thanks, Mr. Winchell.
My pleasure, kid. Happy to help. Zunu guy hates you. Happy birthday. Right. More stuff.